Little People, Big World star Amy Roloff and Chris Murik are officially divorced, and Chris Murik has been arrested. I will explain everything. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Amy Roloff and Chris Murik, their whirlwind romance, the cracks that turned into chasms, their divorce, and the shocking news of Chris Murik's arrest. We've spent months investigating, talking to sources close to them, reviewing court documents, and uncovering the truth behind the Instagram smiles. This is exclusive. Let's go back to 2017. After decades of marriage and heavy public attention following her divorce from Matt, Amy Roloff was adjusting to life as a single woman. Chris Murik entered her life. He wasn't a little person, and he wasn't a reality star. He was a successful real estate broker from Washington State, grounded and stable. Introduced by mutual friends, Chris offered normalcy and an opportunity for Amy to step out of the shadow of the farm. Fans loved him. He was supportive, kind, and embraced her family. He fit in well on the sidelines of the LPBW cameras and seemed genuinely in love with Amy. They got engaged in 2019, and fans were relieved. Amy had found her happily ever after. Their August 2021 wedding in Riverside was romantic and aired on television. Chris promised, "Amy's rock will be Chris," and Amy said this chapter was meant to be. However, rumors started circulating behind the manicured Instagram pictures and TLC edits. Life after dating wasn't easy, especially for Chris, a quiet man suddenly in the public eye. Sources say Chris grew uncomfortable with the constant filming. Every argument or disagreement on camera became part of reality TV. While he adored Amy, he disliked the spotlight and felt his life wasn't his own. He avoided cameras whenever possible, frustrating producers and sometimes Amy. Property disputes added to the tension. Amy's condo in Portland was her main home, while Chris maintained a residence in Washington. This physical distance became symbolic. Amy had ties to Oregon with family, grandchildren, and Roloff farms. Chris had his own professional and personal connections in Washington. They argued about where to live. Amy wanted to stay in Oregon, Chris did not. Attempts to compromise failed. Amy focused on her memoir and business, seeking a partner to share life in Portland. Chris felt left out and disconnected from her world. Subtle signs of strain appeared. Chris stopped appearing in Amy's social media posts. Public appearances together became rare. Amy's posts focused on her work, solo trips, children, and grandchildren. The ideal couple story was unraveling. In May 2023, Amy officially announced they had split months earlier. Fans were shocked. The announcement was posted on Amy's website, asking for privacy. Sources indicate they separated in late 2022 after a difficult holiday season filled with discussions about their future and Chris's frustration with public life. Although the breakup looked friendly publicly, Amy suffered greatly. She was devastated, thinking Chris was her forever. The speed at which their marriage fell apart caught her off guard. Privately, it was painful, but in public, she stayed strong. Chris seemed relieved to avoid the limelight. The Oregon divorce proceedings were private and uncontested. Both hired attorneys to end the marriage quickly and amicably. Amy kept her business and Portland condo. Chris retained his assets in Washington. The divorce was finalized quietly in late June 2024. Fans thought Amy would recover quickly. She focused on her book, boutique, and family. Chris faded from public view. It seemed like a peaceful ending. But then the shock came. On the morning of July 15, 2024, documents verified that Chris Murik had been arrested in Clark County, Washington. Early reports said this wasn't a minor incident. It involved assault, domestic abuse, and malicious mischief. Deputies received a 911 call at Chris's primary residence. A female visitor reported a physical altercation. Chris allegedly pushed her against furniture, causing minor bruises, and started throwing items. She refused immediate medical attention. Chris was reportedly aggressive and intoxicated. Deputies arrested him without further incident. He was processed and booked, and later released on bond pending his first court appearance. These are accusations. Chris Murik is entitled to due process and the presumption of innocence. But the charges, especially domestic abuse, are serious and disturbing. This wasn't a small fight. It involved someone he knew in his home. The news shocked social media. Fans expressed outrage and support for Amy, with hashtag #StandWithAmy trending. Speculation was rampant. People asked how Amy was handling the news and whether she had seen warning signs. Amy stayed quiet publicly. Her representatives denied all comments. Sources close to Amy say she was horrified and shaken. The accusations painted a picture of a man very different from the one she married, even though they had been divorced weeks. She felt anguish and betrayal, but also relief that she was no longer in that relationship. She expressed heartbreak for the victim and anger at Chris's actions. At the same time, she mourned the loss of the person she once loved. Currently, Amy relies on her children and close friends. She avoids involvement in the media storm. Meanwhile, Chris Murick's world has collapsed. His real estate website is offline, his professional reputation ruined, and there has been no comment from him or his attorney. Regardless of the verdict, he faces serious legal consequences, including potential jail time, fines, and lasting impact on his personal and professional life. Chris Murik faces required treatment and the lifelong stigma of a domestic violence arrest. He has an upcoming court date. Meanwhile, the Roloff family has cut ties. Matt Roloff declined to comment, and Audrey, Jeremy, Tori, and Zach are all staying quiet and focused on supporting their mother. The LPBW production staff now faces a difficult challenge. How will they address this event in the next season? Amy's future will be important, but Chris Murick's arrest will always cast a shadow. In hindsight, some signs were visible. Chris's retreat from the cameras may have been misread as shyness. The separate residences contributed to distance, but nothing suggested this level of instability. His arrest forces a serious reassessment. Was his charm a facade? Did something darker emerge under pressure, or was this a terrible mistake caused by alcohol? Fans and Amy's trust have been deeply affected. The legal system may offer answers, but the man once seen as Amy's rock now faces accusations of something very different. This story is a reminder that we never fully know what happens behind closed doors. Reality TV may show stories, but real life is often more chaotic and tragic. Amy Roloff's strength is being tested. What was meant to be a happy second chapter ended with divorce papers and a mugshot. Life can change suddenly. Amy now must focus on healing, while Chris deals with legal consequences. Amy has always been strong. She raised 4 children, ran a business, navigated a public divorce, found love again, and now faces this shocking betrayal. She has her work, faith, family, and millions of supportive fans. She deserves peace and safety. This contrasts sharply with what Chris Murik is accused of. We must respect the privacy of the real victim, the woman involved in the incident. As the case progresses, Amy can close a toxic chapter and focus on the future, her children, grandchildren, passions, and freedom. This story goes beyond celebrity news. It highlights domestic abuse, the masks people wear, and human resilience. Amy's silence is powerful. Her strength is inspiring. If anyone watching is experiencing domestic violence, please seek help. Moving on, Amy and Chris's life together included dream homes, travel, and adventures. Fans speculated about their life, wondering if it was real or for the cameras. Amy shared a personal secret with fans, and people were curious about what the future held. After selling her mansion on Roloff Farms, Amy downsized. She and Chris lived in a modest home but planned for a dream house. In July of last year, Amy said they were actively looking for a new residence. Fans of LPBW know Chris has high aspirations, and their current home didn't meet them. Viewers watched them tour a possible retirement community in 2021. After Matt's ex-wife and Chris, they moved into her $600,000 house. Matt renovated it and turned it into a rental, upsetting Amy. Matt and his fiancée, Karen Chandler, built their own dream home. Chris wanted a fancier place. On LPBW, fans accused Amy of creating drama for the show, but buying the house they wanted could still strain their finances. Chris admired a particular property shown on the show. The kitchen was ideal for Amy, the 6-car garage perfect for motorcycles. The house could host family gatherings. Amy liked it but worried about cost. Chris suggested seeing if they liked it first and then figuring out payment. Amy also considered Matt and Karen's home, noting the large rooms. She had experience living in big houses, but she would likely adjust to a new home quickly. Fans noted how much she had stored in her previous farmhouse. Some even claimed she hoarded items. Based on Chris's description, Reddit users estimated the new home could be worth $1.4 million. Zillow had photos, but the exact address hasn't been shared. Chris Murik is very interested in this house. Some fans wonder if Amy is right to be cautious. This would be their retirement home, but she has said she wouldn't work until 85 just to pay for it. Finally, Amy and Chris left the country, which raised questions. Fans wondered why they traveled abroad. The new season of Little People, Big World has premiered on TLC, and viewers are watching closely. After leaving the country, fans were immediately curious. Amy Roloff and Chris Murick's trip abroad raised many questions. Some wondered if it was a personal vacation to escape the media, while others speculated it could be related to Chris's legal issues. Sources close to Amy say the trip was meant to give her space, time to reflect, and distance from the public eye. The goal was to protect her mental health and avoid constant media pressure after the arrest. For Chris, this period has been stressful. He faces ongoing legal battles, public scrutiny, and a growing list of personal consequences. Amy's focus has remained on her family. She spends her time with her children and grandchildren, who are her top priority. Friends close to her say she is deeply shaken by everything that has happened but is determined not to let the scandal define her life. Amy has returned to routines that give her stability, work on her boutique, promoting her book, and enjoying quiet moments with her family. Meanwhile, the LPBW production team has had to rethink how the show will handle these events. The producers reportedly considered whether to include Chris Murik in the upcoming season or edit out references to him entirely. They face the challenge of balancing the show's narrative with respect for Amy and the legal sensitivity surrounding Chris's arrest. Early sources suggest the season will focus on Amy's life, her family, and her journey of rebuilding after divorce, rather than highlighting the scandal involving Chris. Fans remain divided. Some continue to support Amy wholeheartedly, using social media to express their solidarity. Hashtags like #StandWithAmy trended worldwide, and posts flooded in from viewers expressing anger, concern, and empathy. Others expressed skepticism about whether Amy and Chris's dream life together was ever real. Did they maintain a perfect image for the cameras? Or were there warning signs behind the curated Instagram posts and television footage? Amy has said very little publicly. She has not made official statements about Chris's arrest, instead choosing to let her silence speak. Her representatives declined comments on ongoing legal matters, emphasizing that privacy is essential for both Amy and the other parties involved. Those close to Amy say her quietness is a sign of strength, not weakness. By refusing to engage with the media frenzy, she maintains dignity and avoids feeding speculation. During this time, Chris Murick's public reputation has crumbled. His real estate business website is no longer accessible, and multiple attempts to reach him or his legal team have gone unanswered. The arrest has had immediate professional consequences. Colleagues and clients have distanced themselves, and his credibility in the business world is in question. Regardless of the court's final decision, his personal and professional life has already been severely damaged. Amy has reportedly taken comfort in small, quiet routines. Morning coffee with her children, bike rides, and time with her grandchildren provide a sense of normalcy. Her boutique work allows her to focus on something productive, giving her a way to channel stress into something creative and empowering. Friends say that while she grieves the betrayal and the abrupt end to her marriage, she is also showing resilience. Amy is choosing to shape the narrative of her life, rather than letting others dictate it for her. The international trip was also a chance for Amy to gain perspective. She and Chris reportedly stayed at a private, low-key destination, away from cameras and fans. Sources say the goal was reflection and self-care, a way to recharge after months of media scrutiny. Amy reportedly expressed relief at being in a calmer environment, free from intrusive questions and assumptions. Even so, the shadow of Chris Murick's arrest looms over her life, and fans continue to wonder when or if she will return fully to public life. Social media conversations also focus on the house Amy and Chris were interested in before their split. Fans have debated whether Amy should even consider such a large property now, given the risks and responsibilities. Some argue that investing in a dream home is a positive step for her future, allowing her to start fresh. Others suggest caution, noting that her experience with big houses and the public attention that comes with them may bring additional stress. Amy has not publicly confirmed plans to purchase the property, leaving fans to speculate based on her past comments and social media posts. The situation highlights the complexities of life as a reality TV star. Every decision, from home purchases to relationships, is scrutinized by millions. Fans see only what is shown on camera or posted online, but the reality behind closed doors can be very different. Amy Roloff's experience is a reminder that public perception often does not reflect the private truth. The arrest of Chris Murik, the fallout from divorce, and Amy's quiet resilience provide a stark example of this divide. As the new season of Little People, Big World continues, viewers will see Amy navigating life after divorce, rebuilding her sense of stability, and focusing on her family. Producers are reportedly emphasizing her journey, rather than sensationalizing past events. Amy's story is positioned as one of strength, courage, and moving forward despite adversity. Fans are encouraged to support her, not just as a reality star, but as a mother, grandmother, and survivor of betrayal. Legal experts note that Chris Murik still faces significant consequences. Domestic violence charges carry long-term implications, including potential jail time, fines, and required treatment programs. Even after the case concludes, a permanent record can affect employment, personal relationships, and social standing. This underscores the gravity of the situation and the long-lasting effects of actions taken in moments of anger or poor judgment. In contrast, Amy's life is slowly regaining balance. She is focusing on her boutique, her book, and her grandchildren, carving out a life defined by choice rather than circumstance. Friends say she is planning small trips, working on projects she loves, and avoiding situations that could add stress or negativity. The emphasis is on personal empowerment, stability, and long-term well-being. The story of Amy Roloff and Chris Murik serves as a cautionary tale. Even relationships that seem perfect publicly can have hidden turmoil. Life changes rapidly, and the consequences of one night or one mistake can ripple for months or years. Amy's experience highlights the importance of self-care, resilience, and surrounding oneself with supportive people during times of crisis. Fans continue to watch closely, offering support while waiting for updates. Social media remains active with discussions about her future, her boutique, her dream home, and her path forward. Many admire her ability to stay composed, silent in public, and focused on her family despite the personal chaos around her. Amy Roloff's story is now not just about reality TV or celebrity gossip. It is about human resilience, the consequences of domestic disputes, and the quiet strength required to rebuild life after betrayal. In the coming months, Amy's decisions will shape her public image and personal happiness. Will she purchase the dream home? How will she navigate relationships and public life moving forward? What lessons will viewers take from her experience? These questions remain unanswered, leaving fans both curious and empathetic. Amy Roloff's journey continues as a story of courage, determination, and rebuilding after betrayal. Chris Murik faces legal scrutiny, professional ruin, and public condemnation. Amy is quietly reclaiming her life, relying on family, friends, and personal passions to create a safe and fulfilling future. The contrast between their paths underscores the consequences of choices, the reality behind public appearances, and the importance of resilience in the face of adversity. After the arrest and divorce, Amy Roloff focused on creating a sense of stability for herself and her family. Sources close to her say she spent much of her time with her children and grandchildren, finding comfort in routine and family gatherings. The role of grandmother, in particular, provided her with joy and distraction. She hosted quiet family dinners and small weekend outings, keeping the attention away from media scrutiny and focused on normalcy for her loved ones. Her friends emphasize that these moments have been crucial for her mental and emotional recovery, allowing her to process recent events while remaining grounded. At the same time, Amy devoted attention to her boutique business. The store, which has long been a personal passion, became a therapeutic outlet. Sources say she poured herself into managing inventory, designing new displays, and planning seasonal promotions. Work became a way to reclaim control over her life, giving her tangible accomplishments and a sense of purpose.